All right, hello. Okay, so today I'm going to do something hopefully a little bit interesting for everybody. I am going to build a ESXi server from an Intel NUC. These are kind of really cool little device. So put that up there in front of the camera. So this is an Intel NUC. Think of the word luck. In this, instead of L, you put an N. So what these guys are small, small little like PCs. That's really all they are. They're this little tiny PCs. And these things are absolutely fantastic. You're probably not going to see a lot of these on like people's personal computings, although you definitely could, because this one here is an i5. This is 8th generation version of it, and they make these on the scale that you can do full scale gaming from them, and they're meant to be small and tiny. A lot of IT professionals end up buying these for kind of like the purpose that we're going to do today, where we're going to create ourselves a at-home not clustered, an at-home VMware ESXi. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. This thing is kind of fun. It's kind of small, and it's a great way to kind of train skills. So yeah, if you're looking to be able to train your own skills, learn about technology, and get into doing something a little bit deeper that's more closer to production level, this is how you're going to end up doing this. One of the ways to go about doing this. So I already turned this thing on earlier. Let it go through all of its updates, make sure the firmwares, the drivers specifically, were all updated correctly, and that it worked. That was the big thing. So this is an i5. This is running 8 gigs of RAM. Funny thing is, this is the only i5 computer that are personal use outside of our laptops here at my house. Everything else is AMD. So we're going to go ahead and plug this thing in, and then I'll kind of start talking about what it is that I'm actually going to do here today. I already took the time and plugged in all the equipment, because this thing already has a place that's going to live on my desk when this is all done. Because it's going to stay on. That's the intended purpose of this. This is going to stay on, and it's going to be hopefully kind of useful. All right. So the other piece of things that we need. Let's get a web browser up and running here. Let's see here. There we go. Done. Let's make that there. Let's give that some shape. Fit the screen. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, this here is VMware's ESXi Hypervisor 7.0, and anybody can get this for free. This is one of like the really cool things about getting using VMware Hypervisor. It's completely free. You sign up for the process, which I've already done here, and then they give you the licensing information before it and directions how to do it. So this is a type 1 hypervisor, meaning that we're going to put it on another device, a little USB stick, and run the operating system off that USB stick instead of actually using the solid state drive that's with the NUC here. And this is beneficial because then you have more resources to be able to actually do virtualization. Most production level stuff is actually done with that type 1 virtualization. Personal virtualization that a lot of people use in the first time, or desktop virtualization, is kind of called type 2 virtualization. And that's where you get like VMware Player. And that might be something on a different date I'll kind of talk about. But for now, this is it. And you're kind of going to see, once I have this up and running, the first part of it, there isn't much there, to be honest. It is what that is what it is. But we got to get some stuff kind of going here first. So I've already downloaded this. I've already downloaded this. Let me change screens again. Oh, I never created a desktop. Well, here. Let me create a desktop scene so that you can see my desktop. Where is it? Window capture. Sure. New. That's not what I want. But basically, we're going to use something called Rufus. Rufus is kind of a nice little tool that we can use to kind of capture stuff. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want. Bam, bam. Let's make that fit. All right, there we go. And let's drag that over there. Okay. So we're going to use a little thing called Rufus here to be able to create ourselves a USB device to be able to do this type of work. I'm going to use a Lexar. I have a little tiny Lexar 32 gig one that I'm going to use for this. And Rufus is kind of one of those really nice applications. It's one of those ones that you put in your tools to remember that it exists, because it can do kind of single boot and multi-boot scenarios. So we are going to do that. Let's go ahead and find it. This PC. And I've already found it. All right. Yep, go ahead and start it. All right. So Rufus takes ISOs and kind of installs them onto USB devices, which is what we want right now. We want to be able to kind of have this USB device be able to do something. And any type of ISO, it doesn't necessarily need to be like an operating system, which most ISOs are operating systems. You do this a lot with Windows, Linux, or anything else like that. All right, so it is already done. That's how quick this moves. And bam. Okay. Let us go here. Okay, so what you're gonna see now, let's boot it up once just so you can see that this works. And you can see the Intel NUC going ahead and getting started. And that'll give me a second to prep some equipment here for myself, because I need a mouse and a keyboard. All right, pretty straightforward. It works. So we know we have a device that actually operates. So what we're going to do now, we're going to plug in a mouse and keyboard. To make sure that we have, yep, all right. So the next thing, as I said, this is actually what's going to run our operating system on here. This is a little, I think, a 16 gig SanDisk. 16 gig SanDisk USB. We're going to take our USB that we installed the ISO on, and we're going to use that to install the operating system of ESXi onto this. And once that's done, we won't need to display this anymore. We will actually be able to log into this with a web browser and kind of access this whole system through a web browser anywhere inside the house. So let me go ahead and plug those things in there, and we'll go ahead and get started on the next part. Okay. So we don't need that, right? That's not going to do us any good. Let's do a shutdown. Then we're going to force this thing into BIOS. All right, there we go. All right, come on, shut down. There we go. Okay. So we're going to force this into doing BIOS. And the nice thing about NUCs is that we can sit there and we can hold the power button. And let's see if it actually works. All right, this is going to do it. Come on, you can do it. There we go. All right, we should get the BIOS up here this time. And if it doesn't, we will go through the windows and force it. Does it bog down your computer? No. With this here, we are completely taking any of the virtualization off of our main computer. All right, you're seeing that the installer is already running. And we're probably going to start getting some questions here in a second about where we want to point this thing at. Yeah, this is what you're seeing right here is what you're really going to see of basically ESXi. It is pretty straightforward type of software. It's very, very low level, simple Linux. So does it bog down? No. The whole purpose of using a type 1 virtualization is that you're limiting the use of the host operating system from taking up resources for the rest of your computer to be able to do things. And that's really the whole point of this, is you don't want the host operating system to kind of take up resources. All right. Welcome to installation. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. All right, accept is escape, and function is F11. Okay. All right, scanning for available devices. So the reason why we specifically chose this NUC, so this is a generation 8 NUC, meaning that the hard drive, the NIC are already compatible with VMware. All right, we're going to choose that SanDisk and see if this works. Now, mind you, I haven't perfectly tried this, but I just know this is going to work. Confirmation. All right. Contains at least one partition with existing data. If you continue, all right, that's fine. Because right here, we're going to go ahead and choose this object. This additional drive that's not actually the solid state drive that's inside the machine. It's a USB device. And in production, this is what we didn't do. We want to put this ESXi off, take it away from the actual main components, because it's not quite so important. The VMs and everything that we're going to run eventually on it, that should be on the solid state drive. So let's go ahead and hit yes. We're going to say it US default. And let's go ahead and create ourselves a password. All right. I'm not telling you what my password is, so don't you be asking. All right. So this is the final confirmation. So after we do this, we are... Okay, come on. There we go. Apparently, I needed to hit that button 2 or 3 times to be able to get this to move forward. So this will take us a couple of minutes to be able to do. And then once this is up and running, we're quite honestly nearly at the completed stage of this thing. And it'll be fully be able to do the virtualization and everything probably in the next like 10 minutes or so, depending on what we do. Now, I don't have an operating system pulled down to be able to virtualize. That's not my intent today. My intent is kind of to talk about this type of virtualization. So other things with this is that you do have to have a dedicated piece of hardware to be able to run it off of. And this is why people end up like professionals who are doing training and stuff at home. They tend to go towards the NUC because it's small, it's lightweight, it's not going to take up quite as much space. Like you could choose to do a full-scale desktop computer. Like I could spend the money, I could spend a couple $100, buy myself a desktop computer, but the space is significantly more than what I realistically need to be able to do this. This will be able to sit on the back side of my desk and not take up any room that's going to distract from anything else I'm doing. After I finish this portion here, I won't ever have to have a mouse or keyboard connected to it unless I need to do maintenance specifically on the ESXi, which is a possibility as they progress through versions. 7, this came out in the past couple of months. If they move to an 8 or 9, guess what? We'll eventually might have to move forward. And when those times comes, I'll probably do a short video on that too. But yeah. Great for training purposes, great for at-home use, and absolutely worth the amount of money. So the one I have is probably a mid-tier one. As I said, it's an i5. So this cost me about $400 some. They have more expensive ones, and you can deck these things out. You can put multiple SSDs into them. You can put up to 32 gigs of RAM. These use the SODIMM socket, so you don't have the regular. It's a smaller size RAM sockets, and it has 2 available for it. If you buy directly from Intel, you can have it like pre-made, or if you're really kind of interested and you have the parts potentially, you can kind of build everything else yourself. Like if you have the CPU, the RAM, and some type of drive to be able to use, you can do that all yourself. All right, reboot the server. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and take out this drive as soon as it the screen goes black. We will remove the Lexar. There we go. Okay. We didn't want to run this with the Lexar in there because the Lexar would kind of take over the boot process and go through the process again. So if things work correctly, there we go. Loading VMware. All right. Bam. Okay. So now that SanDisk that I held up for a second, this device has already recognized that that's the boot device and is booting from there. And this is actually nearly done. This is actually taking less time than I thought it was going to take. That little SanDisk, as I said, a little SanDisk is actually running the operating system right now. All this is booting off of there. So anytime I reboot this, this is where it's going to go. The SanDisk is going to boot. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to wipe that other drive that's on there right now. So I have a 256 solid state drive that's connected into the system. Once this is all kind of configured and we load in there, we'll be able to look at that device and wipe it clean. And that'll be kind of what we want. Yeah. All right. Service is starting, running the scripts. All right. So we have a couple things to take a look at here right from the beginning. This is running off of a DHCP server. So I'm running DHCP in my house, obviously. I could static set this. Totally fine to do. But quite honestly, why? we can configure things. So we are probably going to go do that. Let me turn off my cam. The manage host, go to... Oh, I'm probably going to have to manage the host first. All right, let me jump over. Take my keyboard with me. All right. Let us do this. Let's bring up a web browser again. I probably need a new web browser, don't I? Oh, no, that'll work. So let's put that there for everybody. Let's open a new tab. And then let's toss the ATM on here. Where's my video capture? Okay. Add source, ATM. This so we can kind of go back and forth to it. So right now, this is still a live view directly from it. You can see all the information on it. What we're going to be looking for is that we want to go to that address there. So 192.168.86.21. Let's take a note of that information. 192.168.86.21. So that's the IP address. And remember, this is coming off of DHCP right now. So, where did my web browser go? Bam, bam. All right, so how do we access this? Well, we type in the number 192.168.86.21. All right, my bit defender flagged it, but that's fine. I understand the risks. Take me there. Yes. All right. Let's go ahead and shrink that cam back down. Whoop. Camception. I'm a cam inside of a cam looking at a web page right now. So let's see here if this... This is the part that I might need to go look up. Open host client documentation. All right. So we've set everything up on here. Now we just need to log into it. We definitely created a username and password for it. Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase that. We've created a locking password for the actual ESXi. Now we got to log into the actual like server aspect of it. So that's where I got to figure it out. So let's see here. What if we do ESXi first use? Oh, exit ESXi. So what we got to figure out first is how to set up the default password. Aha. Oh, good old root. 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 Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and add that. Save that for my own password stuff. Go ahead and do that. All right. Here we go. This is ESXi. This is how we manage any operating systems from this point forward. And this is kind of like what's really cool about this, because I don't need to be at the device. That's not super necessary here. I can run and view everything from this right here. And kind of give you a quick little showdown of what we have here on the screen right now. So you have that CPU utilization. I'm not using any CPU utilization yet. This is so lightweight that literally it's just hosting a single web page right now. And this web page has like nothing on it. All right. There's not a lot of data. Probably before we try to leave today, we'll see if we can change that name. So we also have storage. Currently, it's not identifying storage. I'm going to have to take a look at that, but that might have something to do that we haven't licensed it yet. Yeah, so we need to make sure we license it before I'm able to get too far into it. Let's see if we can... Yeah, we're in evaluation mode. All right. Nice thing is, I have licensing. And no, I'm not going to show you what it is. Oh, sorry. There it is. All right. Bam. There we go. We now have a VMware vSphere 7 hypervisor that has a license key that's not going to expire. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back and take a look at our host again. I'm going to have to figure that one out, why it's saying that it has no storage there. So something's going on with that. Okay. So do a little tour on this and what we're seeing on here. Okay. We're seeing the device that we're actually using. This is its current name, desktop-ruf msd9 that LAN. I'm gonna change this before the next time I end up using it. Give it something that is more correct for what I'm actually using it for. Our CPU utilization, our memory utilization. Our storage one is probably not showing up right now because it did have Windows on it. So we need to get rid of that Windows operating system off of that disk. And then we'll kind of have to, once that's done, it should show us capacity. Then as we come down here, we have manufacturer. We can see it's an Intel client systems, our model number, our CPU with the number of logical processors, socket types. This is a really thorough explanation of everything that's in here, and even telling us where our current DNS server is sitting at. So something on my home network is sitting at 192.168.86.1, and that's our DNS. Yay. Okay. Virtual machines. So I don't have one here today. Probably the next time I talk about this and bring it up, I will have a drive that's going to have us a VM to be able to create. The nice thing about doing this, we might be able to pull. So we have a couple options when it comes to like doing virtual machines. We can create a brand new virtual machine. We can create one from a kind of a predetermined file. Like if you're making multiple copies of a single one, you can create a file type format for it, where you can be able to just like press a button and it'll just constantly recreate that select image. Then we can pull a VM from another location into this machine. If we end up using VMware Workstation for anything, we can kind of pull them back and forth a little bit. We just have to think about how we're doing it. All right. We're just going to do a test one. Let's see if it'll let me pull down. If it'll just pull one to it. Sure, Ubuntu. Nope. Okay. Nope. I have to fix the storage aspect of it. It's not going to let me do anything with storage until that's fixed. All right. And this is kind of the internal networking aspect of it. So something to take into consideration, the NUC has network, but it has network to the adapter. All right. So that NIC card on the back of it, yeah, that's one set of data of networking going on. And then once we start creating machines inside of here, those machines will also have their own individual virtual NICs that the VMware ESXi will manage itself. And then if it needs to leave the physical device, it'll use that physical NIC. That's kind of how the process ends up working. And we can create our own firewall rules, control our TCP stacks, manage our NIC cards, our virtuals and our physicals. And as I was saying, like the aspect of like the ESXi has its own independent switch that's running this virtual NICs and this virtual networking. So we have the ability to kind of control it and determine how things are connected to it. Yeah. And then once everything's up and running, as we get farther along and we kind of do more with this, we will be able to kind of see live machines doing things. And we'll be able to kind of have this live view of how the physical components are interacting with everything else. Okay. So that's kind of mainly what I wanted to talk about. I'm going to screw around here for a little bit, see if there's an operating way inside of ESXi to be able to wipe that, storage. I feel, see, it's right there. So this is our SanDisk. This is our NVMe. So it's seeing things that are on there already. And you're about to clear. Okay. Clear the partition table of this is destructive action that could lead to data loss. This is for the NVMe. Yeah. That's what I wanted. All right. Now, okay, there. That might have solved the issue that I was having. Can I rename this? Okay, good. Now we have a solid 238 gigs of space. So we'll be able to pull down an operating system in here. Yeah, nice. Okay. Okay, nice. Okay. Okay. Let's jump that back up to the front page of it. I'm going to have to figure out how to change the name. Let's go back to the AATM. F2. Oh, my keyboard's not connected to it. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Login. All right. Let us see here. Configure. I'm fine with it being that. Configure password, restart management network. What I'm currently looking for, see if there's a way for me to force rename the host name. Nope. All right, I will have to figure that out. Configure password, configure troubleshooting options, network restore options. No, don't want to do that. Test network. Sorry for that. Food got here. Which probably means it's about time for me to end this for today. Okay, so I will have to figure out. There has to be something that I'm not seeing to figure this out. Go to. I will look at that portion of it. Okay, that's all I want to kind of go through today. That's it. This was pretty simple. Less than 40 minutes to kind of get us to a complete status, and we are kind of up and running. We have ourselves an ESXi server that is operational. We'll be able to do all kinds of cool little things with it. And yeah, should be fun. This actually should be really fun once we get everything up and running. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me rant about this. Come again sometime. And if you like it, watch more content of mine. Okay. Bye. Where's my off button there?